YouTube! Ugh. YouTube, I'm so sorry. I've been live for like almost an hour at this point. I hit the YouTube stream in OBS, but not on the website, which is stupid. YouTube, why do I have to double click? Shit. I did all that hard work. And then it's gonna go away. God damn it. It's fine. It's fine, Jesus. Oh, that makes me mad. Oh, I don't even know if I'll keep the YouTube VOD, to be honest, but it's fine. Interesting to see your progress and process. Well, thank you. Honestly, learning idol music is different just because I usually don't have sheet music. So I'm not plonking it out on the piano. I'm just kind of doing what we did on headphones. But yeah, okay, what else do I need to do? It is... Okay. Some of these cuts are hard. It will be necessary for those who audition to practice with these tracks. They are slightly different from the actual score. Well, shit, why are we doing stuff from the different than the actual score? It's fine. Let's see. Do I want to do questions? It's the last of my tea. It's fine. Okay. So, do I want to work on Baker's Wife or the finale? That is the question. I may play around with the finale a bit. Let's see. So that's Act 2. Finale Part 4. 31 to the end. Okay. Oh, that's the cuts. Where's the sheet music? Here. Okay. Now we have... What page did they say? 396. Oops. Okay. Okay, but am I group 1 or group 2? There's 2 groups and you ain't told me. I mean, it's the same thing. It's just in a round. I guess I'll just start from the beginning. Oh, and we're in a different key now. 2 flats. What key is that? B flat! I was about to say, because I think 1 flat is... Yeah, B flat. 2 flats is B flat major. Okay. Okay, and that said 31 to the end. Oh, hold on. I say me. There's measure 31. Okay. Oh, and now we changed keys again. Shit. Okay. That's the thing. Oh, it's the into the woods you have to grope, but that's the way you learn to cope. Okay. 1 sharp. 1 sharp is G major. Okay. Key of G major. And that 1 sharp is F, so it's F sharp. Okay, 33 to the end. Into the woods you have to grope, but that's the way you learn to cope. Into the woods to find there's hope of getting through the journey. Into the woods each time you go, there's more to learn of what you know. Into the woods, but not too slow. Into the woods, it's nearing midnight. Into the woods, to mind the wolf, to heed the witch, to honor the giant, to mind, to heed, to find, to think, to teach, to join, to go to the festival. Into the woods, into the woods, into the woods, and out of the woods. Oh, I was singing it in the B flat, not in E. Okay, so I have to go up to E. D, 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 D. 31. 31. Okay, let's bring back the piano. Bring it back. Oof. Velcro's over here like you're being loud and you're moving furniture. What are you doing? Music, my small child, is what we're doing. Musics. This is what we have to do when you have a small office and you don't have space for all of everything on your desk. I wish I had space for my keyboard on my desk, but I do not. Okay. Let's fix this. Oh, God. And let's zoom in on my music. Measure 33. Key of G major, I was thinking E minor, not E. G major or E minor, but we're not in E minor, we're in G major. So, G major. The one flat, the one sharp. G major has one sharp, and the one sharp is F. Oh. It would help if I turned the keyboard back on, huh? Yeah, okay. So we start on D. In, I think. Into the woods, into the woods. You. Why do I feel like this is wrong? Okay. Let's do a G major scale, just to get it in my head. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. G, technically, yeah, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. Okay, that's our G major scale. And so then we start. That's just a do, re, mi. Into the woods, into the woods, woods. And then we go to a C. You. It's a G. To grope, but there's the way you learn to cope. Okay, this is starting to sound a little more familiar to me. Into the woods, do re mi fa. Okay, we just go right up the scale there. Into the woods, you have to grope, but that's the way you learn to cope. Into the woods to find there's hope of getting through the F sharp, the journey. We listened to the prologue at the beginning, and I was absolutely just, woo! That was the key that we're in. What key is the prologue in? I don't want to move my page. We're just gonna go ahead. Let's do that again. My brain is processing. The gears are turning. We're doing stuff. Starting on that D natural. Into the woods, you have to grope, but that's the way you learn to cope. Go down to the E there. To cope. Okay. From the beginnings, I messed up. Into the woods, you have to grope, but that's the way you learn to cope. Into the woods to find there's hope of getting through the. Okay, so we go. Where is that jump to the E? Cope. Cope is E. The journey. The is the F sharp. Ooh, decaf hot tea and golden Oreos with a lesson. Excellent. That sounds lovely. I just finished my tea, actually. I might make another cup once we're done here. But I am boxed in by this piano, so I'm not gonna go back to the kitchen. Okay. Into the woods, you have to grope, but that's the way you learn to cope. E natural. Into the woods to find there's hope of getting through the journey. Got through that F sharp. Let's scroll. Same pattern again. Hi, Nara. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. We're working on the finale. We're learning notes. Tell Velcro to fetch. No, Velcro says it's nap time. She's not gonna go fetch unless she's eating it. Same pattern, I think. Into the woods each time you go. Yeah, that's it. There's more to learn of what you know. Into the woods, G. Into the woods, but not too slow. So we go up to a D there. That's where the pattern breaks. Into the woods, I even did that pattern wrong. Okay, so we do an A, into the woods. A, B, G, D. Okay, here we go. So it's the same pattern from measure 37 to measure 38, but when we get to 39, that's the different pattern. 37. Into the woods each time you go, there's more to learn of what you know. Different pattern. Into the woods, but not too slow. Dun dun. That's a fifth. Interesting. So we're I keep wanting to go to the F. We're not on the F. Into the woods, but da whole step. Into the woods, but not too slow. Into the wood, into the woods, but into the woods, but not too slow. Into the woods, it's that's because we're getting into the end. That's why it's different. Into the woods, it's nearing midnight. E to the D. Midnight edification. Into the woods, but not too slow. Into the woods, it's nearing midnight. Okay, let's just go from the beginning up until there, until I get to the repetitiveness at the end. Into the woods you have to grope, but that's the way you learn to cope. Into the woods to find there's hope of getting through the journey. Into the woods each time you go, there's more to learn of what you know. Into the woods, but not too slow. Into the woods, it's nearing midnight. Into the woods to mind the wolf, to heed the witch, to honor the giant. Okay, the rhythm of this I've got. It's the patterns that my brain has to remember. Okay, and we stay in G major until the end. Good. Okay. Back to this. Ooh, excuse me. Back to D natural. Yeah. Why did that sound like Wonky Addams Family? Hold on, what is the Addams Family actually? Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I'll figure that out later. That would be funny. Into the woods you have to grope, but that's the way you learn to cope. Into the woods to find there's hope of getting through the journey. F sharp G G. The journey. Scroll down. If I printed this out, it would be easier, but I did not have the forethought to do that. Into the woods. Each time you go, there's more to learn of what you know. Into the woods, but not too slow. Into the woods, it's nearing midnight. Okay. Into the woods to mind the wolf, to heed the witch, to honor the giant, to mind, to heed, to find, to think, to teach, to join, to go to the festival. Into the woods. Okay. We are nearing the end. Okay. Into the woods to mind the wolf. That's an A. To heed the witch. To honor the giant. Okay. Got this pattern going. Into the woods to mind. Okay, so we just go straight up the scale. Into the woods to mind the wolf. To the D. To, and then we start on the A. To heed the witch. Back to the D. Back to the A. To honor the giant. To mind. To heed. To find. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, that's what that pattern is. To mind, to heed, to find, to think, to teach, to join, to go to. Wait. To join, to go to the. Oh God, and we go all the way up to the E. No. F. F sharp. Where am I going? D. Fast. No. F. E. D. Yeah. F sharp, because that's ha. Fast. Very good. B. D. F. F. D. To the A. Jesus. Festival. You know, I don't think I particularly paid attention to this triplet whilst listening to the Broadway cast, because it just goes so fast. Festival. Bum, bum, bum. That's a whole major chord right there. So he just broke that up. Okay. See, and doing this, I think, helps me recognize note patterns so that I can become a better songwriter myself. Maybe we should just have music study sessions just to, like, exercise my brain, you know what I mean? That way, maybe, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be as good as Sondheim. No one's gonna be as good as Sondheim. I'm not even gonna be near that, but at least I can improve by studying it. Let me start for To Go to the Festival. That starts on an A. To go to the F sharp. Festival. And then G. That's pretty high. I'm sitting on my ass. But, let's start back at measure 41. Into the woods to mind the wolf, to heed the witch, to honor the giant, to mind, to heed, to find, to think, to teach, to join, to go to the festival, into the woods. Into the woods, Into the woods and out of the woods and happily ever after. Okay. So, into the woods to mind the woo. That's a D. Once more, please. It would be cool to do this with idol songs. There are some that I have sheet music for, like back in college, one of the songs I found sheet music for was Morning Musume's Memori Seishun no Hikari. So I do have sheet music to that, but I know that song already. I'm gonna see, maybe if I could find some, like some Showa idol standards, they probably have sheet music of those more than they would of newer stuff. So if I could find some of that, that could be, you know, a daily brain exercise. We're gonna keep the dementia and Alzheimer's away by learning music. Reminds me of writing, going over and over the same thing until you get it right. Pretty much. Honestly, yeah, that's what you have to do, especially with, you know, recognizing patterns. Honestly, I think that's why I stuck with music, even though I hate math, hate numbers, but I am a pattern recognition machine. So my ears can recognize patterns, and then looking at this, my eyes can recognize patterns. It's getting my fingers to do that is what's hard. But if I keep doing this, maybe I'll get better at it. Anyway, top of the page, measure 41. If I just hit one key at a time, maybe that would help. Beep, 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 beep. Into the woods to mind the wolf, to heed the witch, to honor. We go back to the A. To honor the giant, to mind, to heed, to find, to think, to teach, to join, to go to the F sharp. Festival. That is gonna D. I gotta remember that triad. That's gonna be, and when I take my music and print it out, I'm gonna circle that top note, because that's the one that's gonna trip me up. I bet you money. ASD people learn to recognize patterns. I don't know if that's you. It's me. It's me. It is me. Yes. You are correct. Yep. Very much so. But hey, I'll take it. There are some magazines like Young Song, never heard that, or Heibon Song, that had sheet music for Kayokyoku or Showa. Okay. Oh, that'd be super sweet. I would love some Kyoko Koizumi or, of course, Seiko-san. I'll have to do some research as well, but we'll figure it out. We say festival, then G. Into the woods, into the woods, into the woods. Then, is that it? Yeah, it's a B. Then how long do I hold that? You hold that note for fucking ever. How many counts? What? Are we in cut time? Are we in common time? What time are we in? Where's my tempo marking? It is all the way at the beginning, isn't it? What time signature are we in? 12-8 of fucking course. Jesus Christ. 12-8. Great. Alright, cool. Awesome. I will say, as a singer, I am much better at pitch than I am at rhythm. So for 12-8. Jesus. Okay. But how long do we hold that? Where's that last note? That's a dotted quarter, a dotted whole, a dotted half, and another dotted quarter. Back to writing and lurking. You're so valid. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, there's 12 beats, I think, that you hold that. Okay, so we hold that. We hold the D forever, and then now we could stay up the octave and we start on that C. What? And hop and happy. So we could do that or go down the octave. Starting and happy ever after. Then Cinderella says, I wish. See, this is the thing. When singing this, I feel like Cinderella would sing up the octave, but then Baker's wife would sing down the octave. And I don't know if they're gonna have us sing this in groups or by ourselves. We only have 10 minutes for an audition slot. But they said to prepare this and then the cuts for the individual characters you're auditioning for. And you have 10 minutes. And then I go there, I sing for 10 minutes, maybe answer a couple questions, do some short movement, and then go home. And then the week after that is when callbacks happen. And callbacks is usually when they get you to interact with other actors to see who pairs well with who, like what the chemistry is and how you play off of other people. So they'll probably have us sing this by ourselves. I'll sing it up the octave. Why not? I'll just practice it that way. And I don't know, if I'm not feeling great, I mean, knock on wood, hopefully I will feel perfect, like a well-oiled machine. But I can go down the octave if I need to. But I will practice up the octave, I think. Which is... And happy ever after. Okay. And then Cindy. I wish. Okay. And then that's the end. Not the fortissimo. They said loud, bitch. Okay. Let's go from the beginning. We are not going to be a tempo, just because I am playing these notes with my fingers. But we'll try this. And then, like Cindy, I will find the accompaniment track and see if I can do that. So let's give it a shot. Starting on that D natural. Here we go. Into the woods. To find there's hope of getting through. Hold on. Twist it, reverse it, rewind it. Let's do it again. Okay. Into the woods to C natural. Into the woods to find there's hope of getting through the journey. Into the woods each time you go, there's more to learn of what you know. And then we scroll down into the woods, but not too slow. Into the woods, it's nearing midnight. Into the woods to mind the wolf. To heed. Yeah, let's start that section over. Into the woods to mind the wolf. To heed the witch. To honor the giant. To mind. It's just that B. To mind, to heed, to find, to think, to teach, to join, to go to the F sharp festival. No. Festival. Damn it. Festival. Okay. To mind, to heed, to find, to think. Measure 42. To mind, to heed, to mind, to heed, to find, to think, to teach, to join, to go to the festival. Then into the woods. We rest. Into the woods. Okay. Into the woods. Then into the woods. Then out of the woods. And you hold it forever. And up and happy ever after, I wish. Okay. That's what we do with the keyboard. Now, move the keyboard out of the way. We'll see if I can do this with the backtrack. We'll see. That's the point of the stream. To learn, to find, to practice. Oof. To move furniture. Okay. So, this track, bee. Giants in the Sky, finale, part 4. Okay, what timestamp are we starting at? 5 minutes, 44 seconds. Oh god, and it's a real instrumental track this time instead of a piano. Okay. Let's figure it out. 5:44. I'm going to start at like 5:30 something. Hi, Lily! We're doing music. Let's figure it out. Where the fuck do you breathe? This is gonna have to be a stagger breathing situation. What the fuck? Oh, you're here passing by. You're eepy. Well, thank you for passing by. If you eepy, go get some eep. Okay, let's start back at 4:50. Wow, wee zowie. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to mark these breaths and figure out where to breathe while singing it by myself for the audition. But on stage, yeah, there's definitely some stagger breathing going on. Okay, so one more time. Wait, that's incorrect. 5:44, not 4:55. Jesus, Martha. It's fine. Into the woods you have to grope, but that's the way you learn to cope. Into the woods to find there's hope of getting through the journey. Into the woods each time you go, there's more to learn of what you know. Into the woods, but not too slow. Into the woods, it's nearing midnight. Into the woods to find the wolf, to heed the witch, to honor the giant, to heed, to find, to think, to teach, to join, to go to the festival. Into the woods, into the woods, into the woods, and out of the woods. And happy ever after. Okay. So, I definitely just spoke that go to the festival because that pattern has not stuck in my brain just yet. Where? Oh, bitch, are we just... No, we're not doing Beauty and the Beast. The autoplay needs to stop. Okay, so... Alright, where is... Into the woods you have to grope, but that's the way you learn to cope. Breath. Into the woods to find there's hope of getting through the journey. Breath. Into the woods each time you go, there's more to learn of what you know. Into the woods, but not too slow. I think there might be time for a breath after what you know, but I'd have to play. Into the woods, but not too slow. Into the woods, it's nearing midnight. Into the woods. Okay, so I think I may have to add a breath in between measures 39 and 40. Into the woods, but not too slow. Into the woods, it's nearing midnight, because that midnight immediately goes into the wolf, the witch, the giant. Into the woods to mind the wolf, to heed the witch, to honor the giant, to mind, to heed, to find, to think, to teach, to join, to go to the festival. Into the woods. Ooh, that's a long phrase. Okay, so I'm gonna have to balance my air here. Let's just speak it. Let's see how long I can do it speaking, and then we can add the pitch back. So... Into the woods you have to grope, but that's the way you learn to cope. Into the woods to find there's hope of getting through the journey. Into the woods each time you go, there's more to learn of what you know. Into the woods, but not too slow. Into the woods, it's nearing midnight. Into the woods to mind the wolf, to heed the witch, to honor the giant, to mind, to heed, to find, to think, to teach, to join, to go to the festival. Into the woods. Into the woods. Ooh, okay, I did it, but that was a tight squeeze toward the end. Get some water. Okay. Let's try that one more time. And let's see if I can get my breath where I need it to do. Okay, I'm going to start at 5:40. Into the woods you have to the witch, to honor the giant, to find, to hate, to find, to think, teach, to join, to go to the festival, into the woods, into the woods, into the woods, and out of the woods, and happily ever after. Okay. Okay. So, not bad. Still need to play around. I couldn't quite get all the way through to mind, to heed, to find, to think, to teach, to join, to go to the festival. But I'm sitting down. I could do it standing up, and I'm going to be standing up at this audition. So I'm going to have to do any practices I do off stream. My ass is going to be standing. So I will figure that out. Okay. So we have gone through Cinderella, and we have gone through the finale as well. Part of me is tempted to do Baker's Wife today, but I still have some recording to finish after stream. I've got just some backing vocals to record. I have been working on my Valentine's Day cover to send off to my audio engineer. The main vocals are done. All of that, and I've got a layer of backing vocals in there. I need to do harmonies. So I need to leave some spoons in my voice to do that today. So we could do Baker's Wife next time, and then bring these back after I have fine-tuned them. Is that all I have to do? Okay, so yes, for Cinderella, we're doing No One Is Alone. That was the finale that everyone has to do. Baker's Wife does Maybe They're Magic after she lies about the beans to Jack. What does the witch do? Oh, these are optional. Oh! If you are auditioning for one of these roles, please prepare these cuts as well. Shit, okay, there's a second cut for Baker's Wife that I have to learn. Act 2 finale part 3. I think it's when she's singing to the baker about the child. What is that? 382 to 383. Oops! Not the mustache. 382. Oh, sometimes people leave you halfway through the wood. Do not let it grieve you. No one leaves for good. So that's just the same note pattern that we did with Cinderella. You are not alone. No one is alone. What measure am I going through? 11 to 29. I'm still going. Hold him to the light now. Let him see the glow. Things will turn all right now. Tell him what you know. And then that's that cut for the Baker's Wife. So that's not the original one. Glad I scrolled down. Okay, but what's the witch? The witch has to learn Witch's Lament. Again, that's not one of the main roles I'm going for, but it's good to have that prepared. Just in case. Okay, but yeah, Baker's Wife is going to do that. That's the same pattern as Cinderella. So I have to prep that too. Good to know, good to know. Okay. Yes. This is good. I feel better. I feel a lot better, actually. I feel productive. I feel like I did productive things today. And we learned some music, and I got the dust off my keyboard. Because honestly, it was a doom pile, TBH. And I kind of moved all that stuff on the keyboard to a different doom pile, so I need to clean that up. But it was nice to get it out from under all of my like checky binders and paint markers and shit. Um I need to use it more often. So, there's that. Okay, I will work on these cuts that we just learned today and play around with that. And then next time we do this, I don't know if it probably won't be next week. It'll be the week after. Um, just because next week is Valentine's Palooza. We got lots of stuff. There's karaoke next week, so I'm going to skip that. I will practice off stream next week. Don't you worry. But streaming practice will be the week after. So, yeah. I know this was different than my usual, but I kind of enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. So, I'm going to end it here for the night. But we have one more stream this week tomorrow. We're going to be back into Ace Attorney, Apollo Justice. Day 1 of the trial. So, join me for that. It's going to be a good time. So YouTube, who am I going to throw you at? Who shall I throw you at? Who's live? I'm going to throw you at Odessa is playing. Oh, Odessa's playing Yakuza Pirate in Hawaii. So I'm gonna throw you, YouTube people, over at Odessa playing some Yakuza. And then I'm gonna throw. Ooh, I'm gonna throw all of y'all on Twitch at Lulu Fleur. Lulu Fleur is doing some. She's calling it Doodle Diary. She's so cute. I love her. So go say hello. Say hey to Fleur on Twitch and say hey to Odessa on YouTube. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you, thank you. And I hope to see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Time for Apollo Justice. Thank you much. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.